Alright, so welcome to the third ever podcast, which is being hosted after a long damn time. Welcome to the third ever podcast being hosted by BLACKOUT Hicom. In this podcast, we'll be discussing about topics which I just created like 5 minutes ago. So I'll be just listing the topics right now. So the topics we'll be first starting about is finished implementation of RG department, which I'll get to. New submission channels for clips, officer and HICOM relationship. Talk about how new low will function, pretty much the low channels which have been implemented recently. Basic training being revamped in a faraway time. Changes in member behavior, small changes in moderation to accommodate some leniency, communication of ideas, why I, Crunchy Curry, stayed this long in the faction, answering some officer questions posted by officers in a separate Google Forms, and answering questions from the public, which I also posted Google Forms for. So yeah, I'm just going to start with the whole thing. All right, and a quick little appreciation for the people who are attending this live. Otherwise, yeah. Starting with the first topic itself, finished implementation of RG department. Now, as some of you know, this has been going on for like quite a while now. I'm pretty sure it has been like more than nearly 2 months. But I'm happy to say that the basic channels and the rules and guidelines for those channels have been implemented. The key people working in RG department, which I've chosen as of now, are King Monkey from BSC and Jackie, who's also preferred to be known as Jackson, who's an M1 in the server. These two people have been involved in RG department before, like before it involved the revamp stuff. But yeah, so these two key people will be helping me at least run the RG department. As of right now, the only things I personally need to implement for the RG department is give a few examples for the format and get Sate's help to you know make the format look more presentable. And yeah, otherwise I don't think there's any other work regarding it. King Monkey, I think you're in the audience right now. Let me just check. Yeah. Yes, you are there. So I've already told Jackson regarding this, but I'll most probably start the whole basic functioning of the RG department by this week's Thursday. So the channels I worked on are simply just channels. They don't really explain how the whole department will work. So you and Jackson will be like the people in charge to like get the department running and getting the things clear as we go along the way. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it regarding the RG department. Moving to the next topic, new submissions channel for clips. Now, I thought about this like when I initially made the whole Blackout channel, Blackout YouTube channel. I initially thought about making a channel where people can post clips from either events they did or like clips from events. So a submissions channel where people can post their funny moments or something they might have find cool in the server while attending an event, or in general if someone attended a major operation and managed to record it and had some good clips in it. I'm pretty sure there are like many people who record certain cool moments in their events. So in this way, what I thought is we might as well make a submissions channel where people can post their clips, either funny or serious, can be anything. And based on it, if the clip is like actually good, I might make it a system where either people vote for it to being posted in the channel or Hicom themselves pick it. But both ways can work out, I believe. But yeah, regardless, uh, these clips can be posted as shorts, and those shorts will be posted in the Blackout YouTube channel. So it more or less just helps us, promote Blackout in at least the YouTube space. Similar to how we did it unofficially in TikTok, because this one dude just randomly started posting clips of that. of Blackout, and that somehow ended up like seriously popping off. But regardless, but yeah, for people whose clips we will be using, they will be given credit for, and hopefully with the new RG department, a certain kind of payment. But yeah, as of right now, more or less, I would say AP rewards is the best thing I can do right now. But yeah, they will be given the credit for their clips and AP rewards too if the clip is being posted in in the YouTube channel. But yeah, it's still sort of under discussion. But yeah, that's the general idea what I thought about regarding it. So uh, yeah. Moving on to the next topic, real quick. Officer and Hicom relationship. Now, if you have been dead in the server, you most probably might not know what I'm even talking about. But in the past few months, or at least weeks, I would say, you, at the normal public might not know much, but as officers and certain people who are involved in the inner circle of Blackout will most probably know that many incidents have happened in the past where officer and high-com relationships have soured. I can't really pronounce the word, but yeah. Uh, just to say it in plain words, it has sort of went bad. It's still good, but it's still bad. So yeah, in general, I would I am trying personally to like fix this relationship up by constantly staying in touch with certain officers to know the general idea of all officers. Uh, I don't know if many people know about this, but there is an officer union channel which are using as of now. So they more or less have representatives who would usually talk to Hicom, but as my personal request to our officers, I would prefer not having the whole officer union thing. Rather than that, just please approach me directly or approach the CTO directly. If you still feel like there is an issue, just please talk it out with us. No need to go through the lens which in the past few weeks have caused many issues. And I have already talked to the officers in concern and have been like working towards improving the relations. I'm pretty sure some of those key officers are here right now in the audience listening in right now. I won't name them specifically, but yeah. I will be trying my best to improve my relationship with you and Hicom itself. Otherwise, just please cooperate with us rather than going through extreme measures and affecting the whole functionality of Blackout. That's pretty much my only request for you guys. But yeah, otherwise just trust Hicom to do their side of the work, and we'll trust officers to do their side of the work. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it of what I wanted to say for officers, personally at least. By the way, Sid, if you have anything to say regarding something, just do let me know. I can just stop blabbering. So yeah. Moving on to the next topic. What's the next thing? Talk about how new law will function. All right. If you guys have noticed, there are three new channels actually regarding lore which has been made. The first main channel is the channel called Official Lore. Now, just to give a general idea of what these channels are supposed to serve, Official Lore will be consisting of lore only of Blackout. So pretty much that's the thing Hicom will be more or less controlling over. So at least that's my ideal vision for it. So that will be that anything posted in that channel is considered as the official lore for for Blackout as a whole. Now, if you are an old member, you obviously know that the lore department has been like restarted or revamped so many times. With this revamp slash restart of the department, not really a department, but like the low writers team at least, I'm hoping to not restart it anytime soon, but I will be here long enough to guide it through many operations. So my main aim is to like at least host one major lore operation per month. uh, I mean, it's really less if you see how Blackout used to function in the olden days, but might as well just start slow than starting with nothing off. So yeah, in a I haven't really planned some anything new recently, but I'll work along with low writers to start working on a new new operation for the official lore. Otherwise, yeah, any content posted in the official lore channel will be just official lore of Blackout in general, and the story isn't really set in stone as of now, but it will be building up to what Blackout is claiming to be since like ages, which is a faction, at least of part of a unit. Oh, sorry, I'm confusing my words. What Blackout has claiming to be, which is them being a split of faction from NATO. So yeah, I'll most probably be leading up the story to that point and then also improving on it. So yeah, hopefully my plans for it goes well enough. But yeah, otherwise moving on to the next thing regarding low, frequency 000. Uh, I'm pretty sure many people might be still confused regarding this. But frequency 000 is nothing really too special. It's it's just a channel to explain events between two major operations. So as an example, let's just say in the current official low channel there's a Blackout origins document, and the frequency 00 channel will pretty much serve as a way to uh, for us to post small certain things which happens on the island according to the lore, and those events may or may not happen in future lore. So it's like we are just pretty much dropping spoilers on what's happening on the island and what Blackout can expect or cannot expect to happen on the island by their actions. So like if you see in the frequency 00 channel, you can sometimes see that a certain convoy got ambushed doing while going on a patrol, and then in a future operation that can be an element in the future. So it's more or less just possibilities being laid out in front of people rather than just directly involving those things in the main operation itself. So it's sort of just small spoilers on what might happen in the future operations. But yeah, answering King Monkey's question real quick. Low department member has said before that low based events were vetoed. To be honest, I personally don't know what previous low departments did. Like even if I talk about the previous law department, which was led by Arcane, uh, he was more or less just working on getting lore operations done than being consistent with the law. I don't know what he exactly did because I never kept tabs on it. But yeah, with the current lore itself, I will be keeping tabs on how things go and how the continuity of the lore is. I cannot guarantee it as of right now, but yeah. King Monkey, yeah, lore based events actually. Wait, will lore based events. What do you mean by that? By the way, observe that channel is closed. Oh, wait, did someone open it? Oh, God.
Don't you want it to be open?
No. I replaced.
What?
No, I replaced that channel with asking people in questions in Google Forms itself. Since Monkey asked,
Bruh.
yeah, since Monkey
Alright.
asked a question regarding the law, I might as well just answer it.
Alright. Channel done in three,
Uh,
two,
s-
one. Boom.
yeah, King Monkey, as I said, don't delete the recent messages by the way. I think Liam posted one. King Monkey, as I said earlier, I'll try my best to at least get one operation hosted per month, but that's just the start. Hopefully the frequency might improve sooner down the line, but yeah, currently, as H4, I had divisional overseer work and financial work, which currently as H5 I cannot really do much. So I have planned to replace part of my work with other people, so they can handle majority of that work and I can focus on the things which needs to be done for the faction. So yeah, otherwise yeah, I cannot promise anything for lore right now, but you will see the progress in front of you sooner down the line. uh, all right, last channel regarding lore. Wait, let me answer Liam's question real quick. Question about the low team. Heard NCOs could write low. Is it true? Yes, Liam. What I did is NCOs have the power to give themselves the low writer role if they need to. Like if they really want to write lore, or become a lore writer, they can give themselves the role and become a lore writer. I don't really mind them, but if someone passes through the applications, then I'll more or less just trust their capability of writing lore. But yeah, but if you are an NCO, yeah, you can become a lore writer instantly rather than waiting through the whole process. Uh,
No, so basically, when you take NTO apps, the app. If you have seen the NTO apps, you have to write a short story, a short original story as a minimum of 350 words and a maximum of 1,000 words. I think that should qualify enough for NCOs if they pass the applications for getting a lore writer role. So I think that's what Crunchy kind of means,
yeah. So
Liam.
since NCOs already like write a whole story in their main applications itself, I just allowed it so that NCOs themselves, if interested to become a lore writer, they can give themselves the role itself, or they can ask any Hicom member to like give if they have the permission to give themselves the role and so on and so forth. They can, Sammy, but they need to pass the applications. Liam, it's not really bypassing an app. The
Yeah,
main
go ahead.
the main applications is for normal people like contracted members or officers, because they are not asked like story based questions in their applications, but NCOs are asked a story based question, and if the CSM deems that their story is actually like good enough and creative, they have that leverage to like enter NCO with. So you might as well just you know I'm using that as a base for NCOs to work off, rather than them again having to fill out a whole story where I create up a random topic and then and then them having to like fill it up. So yeah, Bobs are not really select NCOs. They can give themselves the role directly, but they will need to inform like one Hicom at least that they gave themselves the roles. So we don't take it as a surprise that while checking audit logs. Ninja, yeah, they can host. Officers can host their own lore operation. The thing with official lore is that will be more or less hosted by Hicom themselves, or an officer appointed by Hicom. But officers themselves can do whatever lore they want. We don't really stop that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, an officer cannot claim that they are doing something official, like their lore is official or not, but they can do their own lore events. Alright, I'll just move on to the last thing with this topic. The third channel which was implemented in terms of lore is, I believe, lore post. Now, lore post is just an unofficial lore channel where lore writers can pretty much present their work. So pretty much, if some lore writer wants to, write up their own story and present it to the public, they can just post it in the lore post rather than having their creativity limited just because we wanted them to like write official lore for us. So yeah, low post only serves as a channel where low writers can present their creativity to the public. Another thing regarding that channel itself is low writers can actually ping a certain role called lore ping. It has been implemented in the reaction rules channel. So if the general public is interested in catching up with certain lore which other people are writing, they can go into reactions channel and get react to that role to get that role, and be pinged anytime a lore writer actually like posts something in the channel. I hope my accent is a bit clear because few people might get confused with it, but yeah, hopefully, yeah. All right. Uh, Moving on to the next thing. Uh, Let me just thank Jason real quick. There we go. Moving on to the next topic. Basic training being revamped in a faraway time. Now, I know certain people might go crazy over basic training being even revamped right now. Let me make it clear, it's not going to be revamped instantly or even implemented, or the revamped version being implemented instantly. It's still a plan I thought about few weeks ago, I believe, when Sammy initially talked to me regarding it, because current BT, as like when Sammy approached me regarding it, he pretty much pointed out that majority of the BT doesn't really explain the need combat applications which are really needed in terms of actual patrols or like events in general. So like he pretty much suggested that the basic training should be revamped. Uh, Otherwise, yeah, he pretty much suggested it, and I will be working on a revamped version sooner or later. But even for that to be approved, I'll have to like convince every single officer and like pretty much Hicom themselves to like even get that thing even implemented. So yeah, it's just an idea for now, but I'll get working on it and make it somewhat more of a combat based basic training rather than simply just formations and certain combat elements and then just not even mentioning the other combat applications. Sammy, I know you did the effort of making new docs and documents for it, but as of right now, I'm not going to work on it too much. It's not high priority, King Monkey. Like, it's just too much of an effort to like convince other people to like agree on something, and I, even if I am making it high priority, I need to make it so that the basic training isn't too long, plus also needs to cover basic combat applications too at the same time. So yeah, it's just a more or less balancing thing. So yeah, it will take its own time. It's not going to be implemented at least in the coming month, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not prioritizing it over than the current stuff which I talked about recently. So yeah, moving on to the next. This is more or less just a heads up of what I'm going to do. Uh, Moving on to the next topic, changes in member behavior. Now, this is really something like which has sort of affected me personally, but like as time goes by, changes does happen. But the changes which has happened in Blackout at least is like something I cannot just tolerate seeing happening constantly. Now, just to give a quick story real quick, when I personally joined Blackout itself, like at in 2020, whenever I joined, the general wasn't usually totally only surrounded by sex jokes or whatever. Not saying that the current general is still the same way, but there are certain members who are highly active nowadays who do promote that kind of stuff a lot. Not saying it's not allowed, but like the impression we give to new members, that's the main thing which is of concern right now. Because whenever I catch up on general itself, I get that people who have been here in this faction, when talking to each other, might make sex jokes or whatever dumb jokes they make, but like those two people can understand that they are simply joking. But if someone new joins the faction and then sees those things happening, that's the things. I mean, I don't appreciate that kind of like behavior. uh, Whenever new people join in and someone just randomly tells them like some random sex joke or just straight up tells them to kill themselves, that's not really something I personally even like agree on, purely because even if you're intending it to be a joke, that that new person won't understand that it's a joke. That new person will just literally think that you're just randomly targeting that man for no reason at all. So like we are simply affecting our newer members for no reason at all. So yeah, so even if
It's simply like think before you speak, dude. If you try
yeah,
to speak to another person, if it's your friend, then go ahead, say whatever you want. If it's someone random, then think if your words are just think if your words would think as a joke to them or not. It's simply like that.
yeah,
You all know this. You're like what, 15? You should know this.
because like when I initially came into Blackout, when I opened like the general chat itself after being verified, sure there were people talking about weird things, but like uh, when I asked about like questions regarding Blackout and how it functions and so on and so forth, Ezekiel, I believe, he's an old member who's still a member, by the way. He took the initiative of actually talking to me properly and informing me regarding whatever channels I need to like see to like get proper information out of. And like that's something which our current members don't really have. Like like few days ago I have one of the newer members asked like questions on what the divisions are, and Sammy pretty much Sammy, even though he did explain it, he just constantly said that join BW. I mean, it's not really bad, but like I get that. Even though you are explaining it properly, just bro, don't take it too far. And certain people don't even do that. They just mock the other person and just go out of their way to like say random shit. That's something I don't like personally like if someone new arrives in the server, just welcome them. If they are confused about something, just inform them, but you don't need to bully the person just because they don't know something, because I'm pretty sure at a point when you joined Blackout, you were also new to the whole thing. So you might as well welcome the new members and just let them fit in, rather than instantly telling them to just fuck off or anything. So yeah, more or less, I would appreciate if members just cooperate with each other rather than or at least be nice to new members. So yeah. Otherwise, I don't really think I need to expand more on this topic. King Monkey, maybe. Like if you're being a dick to new members out of nowhere randomly, there might be a minor punishment for it, like not a straight warning, but you will be given a verbal. But otherwise, I don't really think a serious action needs to be taken. But yeah, more or less, it's my personal request from like members to just be nice to newer people, other than telling them to kill themselves, or even yelling at them random shit, or even just talking the most out of context thing which exists. Super Hyper Jason, I would say you're working towards the good thing, and I would say keep it up. Otherwise, moving on to the next topic. Excuse me. What's the next thing? Small changes in moderation to accommodate some leniency. Backplay, I'll get to after in a while. What was I saying? Oh yeah, small changes in moderation to accommodate leniency. Now, as last time when moderation was revamped, the warnings were more or less made hella strict. So warnings cannot be as of right now. Warnings are not like appealable at any point of time, and certain people have raised certain issues where sure they may get a warning, like the warning role itself, but the warning itself, the reason for that warning itself might be somewhat minor, so you might as well you know not have that warning role, but instead you can be able to appeal it, or so on and so forth. But yeah, I think I'm jumbling my words right now. But yeah, just to give a basic preview, uh, the moderation itself will be changed a bit. We will still be strict regarding certain things, but regarding small things like spamming in chat resulting in a warning, so on and so forth, there will be some leniency allowed for certain punishments. So even if you do get a warning roll for a certain punishment, certain minor punishment, Bobza, if it goes too far, then yeah. Uh, but yeah, if someone does get a warning roll for a certain punishment which is not really too serious, but it's still serious enough for a warning roll, I might make it so that they can appeal it at least in a 3 months time based on the warning. But yeah, this is more or less just a thought. I haven't really like fully thought about on how the whole process will go. So yeah, more or less, just you'll see changes in moderation sooner or later. Hopefully by within like 2 weeks at least. I am planning to like make those changes soon, so people can at least calm down regarding the moderation, because many people have flipped out over the moderation. Otherwise, yeah, moving on to the next topic. uh, hmm, Communication of ideas. Now this is more or less just talking to people who have great ideas but never really speak about it. uh, Sammy, I'll get to it later, but yeah, uh, what I wanted to talk about right now is communication of ideas. Now, certain people, like a lot of people, might have great ideas for the faction at least, and they might be interested in saying it, but usually don't say it because they might think that the Hicom might not listen, officers might not listen, or so on and so forth. But yeah, quick thing I would like to mention to such people who have ideas. Sure, you might get accepted or not, but at least try to like approach people regarding your ideas, because you never know which idea might actually change the whole functioning of the faction. And that's the thing regarding ideas. Once people think that no one listens to them, they just hold it within themselves and just not really talk about it. This is I have seen this commonly in officers mostly, because certain officers, have great ideas, but like they lack in the side of communication because they think that Hicom might not listen, or whatever the reason may be. But otherwise, yeah, more or less for people who have such ideas, cannot guarantee that those ideas will be implemented 100%. But what I can guarantee is, at least myself, that I will listen to your ideas. So if you do have something, you can always talk about it either to me or to the person in concern. So if you're an NCO and if you have something regarding NCOs, you can always talk to like Seth, who's the CSM right now. So like you can always talk to him, or if you're an officer and if you really have a great idea regarding officers, you can always approach the CTO. So yeah, do not restrict yourself to just hold on to that idea until someone approaches you regarding it, because I'm pretty sure no one in the world will know you even have such kind of ideas unless and until you talk about it or something. So yeah, that's more or less for people who do innovate on certain things but are afraid to talk about it. So yeah, at least with this Hicom itself, I'm aiming to keep it as transparent as possible, so people don't really think that we don't listen to them or anything. But if you do really have that concern, you can always DM me and ask me if you are really being ignored or you just got delayed or something. Because certain people, just because I don't respond to their DMs like instantly, they think I have literally like ignored them or something. But yeah, I personally have a rule that will not ignore someone's DMs unless and until they just speak dumb shit, like spam messages or something, which I don't really respond to. So yeah, if you have something to say, you are obviously free to express it. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole general thing what I'm trying to convey right now. Anyways, moving on. I think this is the last topic which I want to cover. Why I stayed this long? Why I, Crunchikari, stayed this long? Now, some of you might know I have been in Blackout for like since. Sorry, wait. I mentioned earlier that I joined Blackout in 2020. Sorry, I joined Blackout in 2021. 2020 was when Blackout was created. My bad. I initially joined in 2021, January 19th, I believe. So yeah, I mean, if some of you know, I have been in this faction for like way too long at this point, and and even me still staying as Hicom, like I'm pretty sure I'm the only official Hicom who has stayed in their position regardless of that, of how much times have changed. Like I have been head force for like nearly 2 years, and this is the only time I've actually gotten a promotion since like ages. But yeah, one would say I have been working in this faction for like way too long, and the reason I don't really talk about this to like a lot of people, but like uh, the reason why I even stayed this long, like if you see other people, they would usually retire when something in their life changes or something happens, and I totally agree with them. If they have certain things to leave Blackout for, they can obviously. But like personally, when people ask me why I have even stayed this long, even after the shit I have gone through in my real life, I cannot really explain it properly. But like the thing I usually say to people is that I can still see the good of Blackout. Like if Blackout truly can just be good in general, not general as in the channel itself, but like if people just do their things properly without even like having the issues of someone breaking the rule or someone saying the n-word constantly or so on and so forth, uh, blackout can be a good thing. Like we can still do a lot of things as long as people are interested in doing those things. Like in the olden days, whenever I saw officers hosting stuff, it was always based on their interest. And like whenever officers did host something, you could sense the feeling of happiness in their voice itself. And even when I as an attendee would usually attend those events, I would have fun in those events, and like whatever happens in those events, it would be a blast of a time. And like that experience itself might have changed in recent times, but I will try to go back to that same feeling for other members to also experience. And this initiative itself is not something I can do on my own. If I could do it, if I could do this on my own, I would have done this like ages ago. But like this is something which requires like every single working sector of blackout to contribute towards. If officers can do things with their own interests, they can obviously get things running without having to think about that this is purely just a job or whatever they might feel that is restricting them to host events freely. But yeah, overall I would just say, please just be good in general. Like I don't
I
think.
mean, if you want to make a working community, it's best if the officers can work together with the community and the Hicom can work together with the community and the officer. Just like, it's like a habitat, like everyone works with one another. You can all make a one happy, big faction and community. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we might as well just not have too many issues with certain members who constantly break the rules. Like I get certain enforcement is needed, but like um, I'm pretty sure it doesn't really have to be this way always. People can be good in
Yeah.
their own ways, and if people are good, that will just mean that we will mostly just focus on our own work rather than having to constantly go back and forth with telling members to just be normal. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I believe. Yeah. All right. I don't think anyone specifically has something to say. If they do, I'll answer it privately later. But yeah, I'll just move on to the other things which I have. uh, by the way, Backplay, you asked about revamping patrols. I am going towards those right now, Rion. Backplay, I don't know if you're still here in the audience, but uh, you asked about revamping how patrols are being hosted. If you really want to, expand on it, just say how you would ideally want patrols to be hosted in DMs. So if that is a better way than how we currently host patrols right now, I'll see towards it. But otherwise, yeah, I'll just move on to the other stuff which I have. If you hear any background noise, just please excuse me. Otherwise, moving on. I'll first start with the questions officers asked. By the way, I'm reading these questions from like Google Forms I posted yesterday. So contracted may only know the forms they got, but officers also got a separate forms to like ask their own questions. So yeah, first thing I'll be answering the officers who asked their questions. So let me just see those real quick. Individual. All right, Jackson or Jackie in the Discord server has asked this question: when will CQB either be recreated or removed? CQB, last time I checked, Jackson, like last time when I implemented it along with F1, I believe, was still supposed to be hosted using the desert map which we have available. But Bobs, I'm reading the questions from the Google Forms. I'm not addressing from the audience. All right. Last time I implemented it with F1, and F1 was supposed to implement that with officers, but like I think that more or less got decreased. But yeah, currently part of my plans as H5 is, uh, first fixing the basic structure we have going on right now. So currently Blackout itself, like the basic structure at least of every single functioning, is not really working at its best right now, or even filling their minimum stuff. So I'll see towards it that I check every single internal problems first before expanding towards future stuff. But yeah, that also includes CQB. So yeah, sooner or later you'll see me or some other Hicom or some other officer working regarding the CQB upgrade. Uh, I'll answer your questions. I think I already answered your concern, like in the podcast itself. So hopefully you'll listen to it, or if you still have any issues, you can just always DM me. But yeah, moving on to the next question from another officer. Epic gamer cool man. He's an M2 in Blackout. Let me just quickly read his question. How long do you think it will take for the H4 and H3 spots to be filled, and do you have any potential candidates? Personally, right now, I don't have any potential candidates, but what I do have is one of the retired members in Hicom recently wants to come back as Hicom, but they won't be given the same rank as they received earlier. But other than that, I don't really have any candidates, especially. Otherwise, as of right now, I don't have, but I will be looking for candidates to have a full Hicom team. So yeah, uh, I cannot guarantee that the H4 and H3 spots will be filled out, like at least both in the same way. But yeah, I will be searching for a proper person to join as Hicom uh, in the future. But otherwise, it's not really much of a priority as of now. Even though it's a power gap, it's not really a major one right now. Next question. The officer wants to be anonymous. Will the OIT process be any quicker to let officers in faster? Uh, Answering that question first, no, the OIT process won't be any quicker, at least in my opinion, because uh, big bacon no. Anyways, the OIT process won't be made faster anytime soon, to be honest, because the thing the thing is, we usually prefer quality over quantity. Like we never choose quantity over quality. So we will most probably never make OIT like a faster process, so people can just speed run it any way they want. So yeah. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Backplay, that's members, not actual officers. But yeah, moving on to the next question from another officer. Well, a retired officer, a real neon. Your question is, what are your plans for the future as new H5 of the factions, such as? I'm pretty sure neon. I think I already answered some of it here. Like I literally became H5 like few hours ago. I will be posting a roadmap soon, properly discussed roadmap with others, with other Hicom. But as of right now, I explained some parts of the work I will be doing. The rest I still need to discuss among other officers and Hicom if I really need to improve on certain things. But yeah, yeah, I think I covered some of the things that I will be majorly working on. Concerns, CO meetings. Regarding CO meetings, Neon, I think I'll either Nutcrunch or the new ETO Nova will be hosting those more frequently. Hopefully, I'll see towards it that CO meetings are hosted more frequently, considering we have dropped off regarding CO meeting activity a lot. But yeah, since it's more or less Nutcrunch's department, I'll ask Nutcrunch to improve the frequency of CO meetings and how they are being conducted. At least two meetings once a month should be good enough. But yeah, hopefully we can increase the frequency sooner or later down the line. Hopefully that clears up everything. If you still have something, you can always DM me. Broody, okay, good. I didn't even. Alright. What plans do you have regarding divisional support, for example, financial logistics or human resources, as well as divisional banter? Uh, how will the high presence of BSc in BO Hicom affect us? Okay, let me make. Okay, first I'll answer this question first.
It again.
Trust me, you said you'll be laughing once I actually say the other question. All right. What plans do you have regarding divisional support? In terms of divisional support, I am planning certain things. Uh, like regarding BRC itself, uh, my main goal was to make it somewhat divisional support thing, but as you can see, it didn't really work out the way it was supposed to be, and so on and so forth. So I am planning something new, other than a simple subdivision or division. What I am planning is making a collaborative group among other divisions. So pretty much one name under, like, every other division is under one name, and those divisions will be contributing monthly based on whatever they want to do to every single division in this specific group itself. So if you see joint events, that was pretty much the goal regarding it. People divisions collaborating with each other, but it didn't really work out the way it was implemented to be, because I never really specifically stated that it was supposed to be working that way. But I'm still the divisional overseer right now, so I might as well implement it before handing off my divisional overseer work. But yeah, uh, more collaborative division more collaborative efforts between divisions will be enforced down the line. Specifying on enforced, uh, not all divisions will be like strictly forced to host such host events for others, but there will be a requirement for divisions to do certain things in the future. In terms of financial agents or human resources, now let me make certain things clear. Financial agents can, if there is an NCO in BOW, they can always approach to become a financial agent whenever they want, whenever there is a vacancy. But otherwise, you can always just talk to the financial overseer. Otherwise, if you do really want a financial agent from BOW, I'm pretty sure I can make an accommodation for that. I'm pretty sure Winter is still in BOW. I don't think there is a need for like financial agents from BOW anyways, to even represent in terms of like financial aspect. In terms of human resources, as I said before, officers for division themselves usually are divisional members. Usually are divisional members. Like, I cannot just randomly drag some commissioned officers and just say they need to be a divisional officer for so and so division, or like I cannot just randomly pick up some member from anywhere and just say that you're part of this division now and you have to be an officer in this division. And so, like, in terms of human resources, it's more or less up to the like the division heads, like the directors and deputies, to engage more with their community, with their divisional community at least, and hopefully just hope that those members will have interest in becoming a divisional officer and then become divisional Hicom themselves in the later future, because that's how divisions have been run ever since like creation. And I don't intend to change this anytime soon, purely because this is like the best system it can be working on. I'm not trying to make divisions into some kind of corporate system where I would just randomly drag people from A to B just because B needed some people. You need to take the effort to talk with your community that and see if they are interested in helping you rather than you getting help from somewhere else. So yeah, that's more or less in terms of human resources. And coming back to your second question, how will high presence of BSc in BO Hicom affect us? Sid, do you want to lead with this, or should I?
The division has nothing to do with Hicom. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what comes to your head when you have that question. Whose question was that from?
Broody.
You what? You'll answer it. I'm not in the mood for this.
Alright, let me make this clear. Broody, just because good enough people from BSc became Hicom doesn't mean BSc itself is becoming Hicom and is going to influence. Like, I do not get this point you're making. Like, how is our divisional status going to affect what decisions we make as Hicom? As Hicom, we are only supposed to work for the public itself. I don't care what BSc is doing right now. BSc is already being managed by Gaming Estate and SATE. SATE is simply just the BSc deputy director right now, but even if he's Hicom right now, that doesn't affect influence any decisions made against BSc or for BSc in any way possible. Like, I simply do not get this what point you're trying to make. I legit do not understand why this is even a question, purely because our divisional status doesn't have to be, you know, a factor for us to become Hicom. Like, whenever I did choose or anyone chose for Hicom, any person for Hicom, we usually see their work, whatever work they have done wherever. We see that, we don't see their divisional status. Like, I personally don't care about divisional status. If you really think I influence my decisions based on divisions, then you really need to, you know, see what work I truly do to even understand that I'm not in anyone's side. I'm simply just there to, you know, and keep the neutrality going on. And I think I missed one of your points real quick, as well as divisional banter. Yeah, in terms of divisional banter, I already made it clear to you, Broody. People say whatever they want to say. I cannot stop people to say certain things. Targeted targeted content against divisions, sure, I took action against it. But just because people are saying a certain division is bad, like members just saying BOW is trash or BSc is trash or BAC is trash, I cannot stop that. That's people being people. That kind of divisional banter is something which has existed since ages, and it's not even serious. Like, people say things against whatever division they are. Like, if someone is from BOW, they would at the point just randomly say BSc is trash and join BOW. Like, I don't really get the point of even having to like separate divisions just because someone called it trash or anything. I don't think it even affects that division status. Like, trust me, BOW isn't even the worst, isn't even one of the divisions which got the worst end of the deal. Even before this, BSO was termed as the racist division, and that's more serious than what BOW is facing right now of just being SPED members. And BSO itself wasn't really like racist. Even they weren't even like racist themselves. Only had like few members who had certain racist regards, but they even those were supposedly jokes in terms of what they said. But like, it was like, I cannot even explain like how, you know, divisional banter is supposed to work. People say whatever they want to say, but if they are creating targeted content against a division, sure, action will be taken. But like, I don't I don't care if, like, you know, someone just says BSc is trash. That doesn't mean BAC is literally trash or BSc is literally trash. They are just simply just saying it either because they are in an opposite division, or they are just simply saying it because they have had a certain experience in that division. So like, if you are going to go against people's opinions, I would highly suggest talking to these people rather than trying to convince me that this is divisional banter. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's all the questions for officers, from officers. Moving on to the questions from the public. Alright. Alright. I might speed run this considering we are already going like past 1 hour. Bobza, you will see the changes once I actually make them. I cannot really discuss things right now because I haven't really planned them through, but I have a general idea of what I'm going to do. But yeah. Moving to the next stop. Alright. Answering the people's questions which I asked in the forms. Gogus. The names might be weird since it's Discord usernames, but yeah. Uh, by the way, for the people who are pinging me or DMing me, I will answer to you later privately. But yeah, reading questions from the forms from the public right now. Gogos, who's an alpha in Blackout. His question is: will Blackout be more serious? Right now, it's just full of the three funny word jokes all the time. I cannot say the word right now, but yeah, I have my limitations as of right now. Just go with it, please. All right, Gogos. Yes, I will be enforcing certain things so people don't constantly use those jokes. Like, I'm 100% sure people can still be people if they just, without those specific jokes, they can still do a conversation. But this is more or less just the online community. Just because it's online, people think that they can say whatever they want. So I cannot 100% say that this will be gone, but what I can say is I will be sort of cracking down on such things. If people are saying such jokes and going too far with it, yes, there will be action taken against them. But if it's just a one-off thing, then we'll just keep it as a one-off thing. I'll try my best to see towards it that Blackout members mature in a way, but that's more or less them taking the initiative than me enforcing it. Even if I enforce it, I don't know if they will actually follow it or not. Like, it's not something I can just enforce and people will strictly follow it instantly. Otherwise, that's pretty much just a dictatorship at that point if I'm strictly enforcing it. Alright, moving to the next question. Finally, the question loaded. Question from 9S, who's an L15 in Blackout. What are your plans on the server? Okay, I already explained part of this earlier in the podcast, so I'll just skip over this question. 9S, if you are in this timeline in the video, or if you are in the audience right now, just you'll see just listen to the previous mentions in the podcast. Moving on to the next question from Tax. I'm not going to say the whole name. The pronunciation is here. Tax Kovac, who's an L9 in Blackout. Do you have any major reforms in mind? In terms of what I'm going to change, I don't have major reforms in mind. But what I am trying to do is fix the current things and then move towards new things. I don't plan to implement anything too major soon, but one would say the RG department right now is a major thing. The direction of where Blackout official lore is going, that can be termed as a major thing. So yeah, let's just see how those things go. But I wouldn't really say these are major things. These are more or less just fixing mistakes of the past and at least making the faction run at a decent pace. Question from Civil, who's an L13 in Blackout and apparently a Blackout celebrity, as per what he has typed. How are you going to ensure people in power are trustworthy, and we do not get a situation like Mirad, SASR, cans of com, etc. Now, if you're not understanding what Civil is meaning by his question, what he means is, if you know these factions and the past of these factions, cans of com, SASR, and so on, because alright, if you don't know the past of these factions, like the Hicom who were there in those factions, actually went against their whole members, and at the end of the day, pretty much just either deleted the servers or nuked the whole faction by accident. So like, yeah, what Sybil is pretty much saying is, can we trust the new Hicom with such power in their hands? And what I would say is, yes, you can, because whenever a Hicom is chosen, part of the reason why we even pick someone up from the position they are in is because obviously they are they have been trusted to do certain work throughout the time they have spent in Blackout before Hicom. But even after they become Hicom, there's a choice between them. Even if they want to do something bad, there's a choice for them, that do they want to lose everything they have worked for, or would they prefer just simply maintaining the peace of the server. So supposing if I personally wanted to do damage to the faction as a whole, I cannot personally do it because even if I wanted to do it, that inadvertently, like indirectly, will affect whatever I have worked on throughout the time before I was even H5, and those are a lot of things I have worked on like personally. So yeah, I cannot like you know say that certain Hicom will be chosen which have a tendency of nuking the faction, but I can guarantee that whatever Hicom will be chosen, they won't nuke the faction, or let's just say destroy the faction anytime soon. And by anytime soon I mean never, because yeah. Anyways, I'm not trying to say that there will be a possibility, but yeah. Even if an Hicom goes out of line, the John Wick bot is always there to take action. But yeah, otherwise moving on to the next question real quick. Question from A321XLR, who's an L4 and in BOC. Are you going to get are you gonna get rid of the okay, bad word, uh, every warning means 1 week of gulag rule? uh, Maybe. I mean, I did mention, revamping moderation rules a bit. But that will include, minor offenses will like getting one warning, but not a 1 week gulag, and so on and so forth. It's just a lot to be worked on. So yeah, I cannot guarantee things as of now, but once efforts towards changes are being made, I'll obviously involve the people who are concerned. So yeah. Otherwise, moving on to the next topic, not topic but question. Uh, Question from Pandemic Bear 502, who's an L11 in Blackout. What are you going to do to make the quality of Blackout events better? Now, I personally haven't attended a normal Blackout event for since like ages. Like, I'm pretty sure anyone can search up when my last name was mentioned in training logs. Attending some other officer's event, that's most probably like months ago. But yeah, uh, I uh, I wouldn't really say blackout events are like really shit in quality, but if they are really bad in quality, then yeah, I'll check up with officers regarding this, because in terms of blackout events quality, I would mostly just say expect quality from officers only. Don't expect quality from L13 plus whoever with event access is like trying to host, because those are
Yep.
just contracted members, having that perk to host. But so I cannot, and they are not even like verified. We do ask them questions like, do they know how to manage an event? But they are not expected to host quality events. So if you are expecting quality events, I would say expect those from commissioned officers only. But yeah,
Also, do be reminded that we do specify that if, say, a random L13 with an advanced access do host something, and it goes really sideways to the point where the public was displeased with the event, we have the rights to remove the event's access. So again, referring to what Crunchy said, do not expect quality events from L13s or anyone who's not a CEO or a Hicom. If you really want to talk about quality events, then it goes back to the quality of the officer itself and how well he or she can construct a well-developed event that will please the public. That's pretty much it.
and even if you do attend an event where the event quality was really shit, regardless of them being an officer or an L13 plus, you can always leave a negative evaluation in the evaluation channel for the event. And if you really feel like your concern isn't being heard from evaluation, you can always just DM the CTO directly regarding a person's or an officer's like event quality, or just DM any Hicom or that officer in general to like talk about them, talk to them that how bad they did, how badly they performed in hosting that event. And if you do have any suggestions for them to improve, you can always talk it out with them. But yeah, moving on to the next question. Question from Ruby, L15 in Blackout. When will you nuke the faction? Ruby,
Can we can we skip it?
we cannot skip it. I shall I shall not skip. I shall not skip any questions. Ruby, I shall.
Shall we skip it, chat?
Alright, let me. Alright. Uh, hmm? 40. Alright. When I'll nuke the faction? I will nuke the faction on 69th of August 2069. There you go. Moving
Okay,
on to
good.
the next question. Tiny Lizard, I'm reading your Discord username, who's an L2 in Blackout. Which faction beside this one do you think is the best? Trust me,
We
Tiny
don't
Lizard.
promote. Promoting.
Say it, trust me. Like Tiny Lizard, I have never been in another faction except Blackout. The only the very first faction of BRM5 which I joined is called uh, Voodoo Elite Command, in short VEC, which is like a faction made by my friend, but like that faction is already like dead in the dirt since like 3 years. It has literally become a friends group right now, and that that has been the only that has been like the only faction I've been other than Blackout. Other than that, I have never been in another faction. And even if I wanted to like rate a faction, I have never seen another faction and how they function. So like, yeah, I cannot literally legit rate how other factions are. But otherwise, yeah. Sorry if I didn't meet your expectations for your answer. But yeah. Moving on to the next question. Question from Master Doge, who is an L13 in Blackout. ACS research and development this year or year 2050? Master Doge, I would say the year 2050 if Blackout still manages to survive that long. But I'm pretty sure the last time we talked about, the whole research and development for ACS thing, I mentioned that I would first focus on implementing the RG department first rather than focusing on the ACS side. The ACS side isn't really a priority in any way because Blackout isn't ACS. ACS was just a thing which was done because NAR wasn't updating the game for like a year or so. And we only did that after realizing that NAR wasn't updating the game for a year. So like ACS isn't a priority. But yeah. So yeah, we will be going towards it, but not right now. Next question is from Aussie Ware, who's an L15 in Blackout. Are you going to carry the boats and the logs for Blackout? Okay, I don't know what.
What?
I don't know what to answer, to be honest. What is
Carry the
okay?
votes. That's what I heard.
Okay, let me clear up. Let me say the question again. Are you gonna carry the boats and the logs for Blackout? I don't know what he's supposed to mean. Yeah, he said boats and logs. I don't know what he means.
I think that's a metaphor.
Might be a metaphor, might be a thing regarding boats being implemented in Blackout. Not Blackout, but BRM5. I don't know what you mean. Aussieware, if you do end up, listening to the podcast, might as well give me the clarification in DMs. Alright. F1, I'm not going to read your DMs yet. Moving to the next question. From Mr. Foxer, who's an L15 in Blackout. Oh god, he linked a video where the question is. I swear, Foxer, if this is a rickroll, I'm going to demote you back to L0. Just to show the live audience what I'm seeing right now on my screen. Let me show you this. I'm posting the image in general. This is what he has literally posted. And knowing Foxer, this is definitely a rickroll. This is definitely a rickroll. This is what his question is. This is definitely a rickroll. I'm pretty sure the moment I even open up YouTube with this link, it's definitely going to be a rickroll. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to open the link. Foxer, if this is actually a rickroll as I predicted, then you will be demoted back to L0.
It is.
Oh god.
Wow. Right, check out the ranking logs.
Yeah, you know what? Bob's that is a lot.
I don't post any.
Just state the reason as Crunchy predicted you will ignore him. So this is the consequences of your actions. Dude. Okay. Like, I haven't even talked with Foxer since like a year or so, and I already predicted this. Like, this is how well I know him. Alright, moving to the next question. Zygarde, who's an L14 in Blackout, with the risk of being nuked gets higher every day. What will we actually do when we do get nuked? I Zygarde, I don't
What?
really. Yeah, same reaction. Zygarde, I don't really know what probability are you even considering that Blackout is going to get nuked. I'm 100% sure you're mentioning certain rogue members or certain, you know, prophets, quote unquote, uh, of Blackout who constantly, say random things to, instigate certain effects. But yeah, I would just say Blackout isn't going to get nuked anytime soon. Even if we are on the verge of being nuked, John Wick is there to save us. Like no one, our faction is, after seeing how other factions were like vanished, how other factions like vanished from the faction map, we set up reinforcements so hard that the John Wick bot itself will like the second it feels suspicious that someone is doing something too quickly, the John Wick bot instantly takes action. Like I'm pretty sure everyone remembers the time when John Wick was like executing every single person who pinged contracted. That was the day of reckoning that John Wick proved. So yeah. Moving on to the next question. Apple Juice, who's an L0 in Blackout. Are you gonna make Blackout great again? If so, how? Also, also she doesn't have no embed poems. Shake my head. All right. Am I going to play? What am I saying? Am I going to make Blackout great again? Maybe. I cannot guarantee it, but that's what my aim is, to be honest. Like as I said earlier, when the reason why I even stayed this long regarding Blackout and still intend to, like, why is everyone spamming more in general? Just for that I'm going to put a slow mo. You guys have forced me too much. Alright. You can only type one message every 5 minutes, screw you. Have fun. If you're going to keep spamming it, no more moderation for you. Say it if people start spamming mob in media too, just take care of it. Alright. Alright. Anyways, moving back to answering the question. Where was I? Oh yeah. Am I going to make Blackout great again? Maybe. But yeah, that more or less depends on how people cooperate with whatever initiatives I take. But yeah, my main intent is for making Blackout great again. So yeah, hopefully I go into the right direction. But otherwise, yeah. Moving on to the next question. From F1, a lot of ranks mentioned, so I'm not going to give you credit for it. I want to come back as Hicom now. You're H5 and I'm being legit. Let me in. That's not a question. That's a statement. F1, you are being removed from moderators for for typing a statement rather than asking a question. See ya.
Yoo-hoo!
Oh god, I accidentally turned on Spotify. Alright, don't mess with these rules, by the way. Anyways, I'll just move on to the next thing. That one Polish milk who's an L13 in Blackout. If you shit in a bucket, is that shit in the bucket or is the bucket in the shit? To be honest, wait, let me read the question properly. If you shit in a bucket, is the shit in the bucket or is the bucket in the shit? The shit is in the bucket. There we go. Crisis averted. Moving on to the next question. Uh, Asked by Dr. Kami. Okay. That came out weirdly. Who's an L2L in Blackout? Will there be more events hosted in Asia, and is there a solution to the decrease in number of events hosted in Asia division? Now, this has been a question for like ages. Like I personally am like part of the Asian region, considering I'm in India. But what I would say is, people from Asian continent really need to take initiative to become our officers to actually host events for like of Asian time zones, because like I cannot just drag people in just because they are from a specific time zone and make them host events. That's more or less just people from that time zone being interested in contributing towards events in their time zone. Like when I initially became officer, that was part of my main goal of hosting events for the Asian time zones, because no one back in the day used to host events for Asian time zone. Like when I was attending events, I would usually stay up late till like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. just so I can attend events in like American time zones. And after I became officer, that was like the only time I could host events myself for the Asian time zone gang. I'm pretty sure there are many officers who are like part of the Asian time zone, but either they are more involved in the division, or in like managing the division than simply hosting for contracted. But part of my plans is to host myself for contracted, so that technically counts as contribution to the Asian time zone. But more or less, a real solution to this, I would say, is people from the Asian time zones, if you're interested in joining officers, apply for OIT. If you really need a supervisor, I'll try my best to help you out. But yeah, otherwise I cannot really make promises saying that I can I alone myself can carry the whole Asian time zone or get officers from the Asian time zones. As long as people don't really step up, I cannot really solve issues, specifically these type of issues where more people are needed, pretty much. uh, Moving on to the next question. uh, Sammy, why do I think this is you? They didn't. Okay, this person didn't really state their Roblox username or Discord username, but this is pretty much their question. uh, okay, I posted the question in general. I don't think I need to answer this one, but I have a high feeling that that's Sammy, purely because he asked that same thing earlier. I swear, Sammy, if I don't find another question from you, I'll assume that's you. Say just make the slow mode like 5 or 10 seconds or something.
6 hours.
Yeah, bet. Alright, moving on to the next question. Alright, I'm just going to speed run through questions right now. It's going to be like 1 hour 30 minutes right now. AM Kirby, who's an L13 in Blackout. I've been hearing many officers complaining about how much the quota is for M2 and M4, and from what I see, I think it should be improved, since right now the current officer count is very low if you compare demand to supply. So I would like to ask, will officer corps be easier to join, or the quota for them will be less than it is currently, and this will help towards the better of the faction. AM Kirby, the quota is being revamped to accommodate officer changes. uh, I already have worked with a solution with Nova, but we just have to constantly double check it with how the previous with the functionality of the previous quota and the new current quota, and make sure that certain things aren't really misunderstood between officers, because like the last time I read the current quota which is being implemented right now, it's not too strict. Like the major thing which officers even have concerns regarding about is them thinking that the quota is strict. Like ever since the new quota system was implemented like ages ago, I have taken every single effort to like clear up the doubts, but some officers still think that the quota is too harsh for them. So even now I'm making the compromise of revamping the quota a bit to accommodate that specific gap of doubt itself. But yeah, I wouldn't say the quota really failed them. It's more or less that the officers just fear that the quota is too much for them. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, we are making changes to accommodate it, make it more friendly for officers than simply being more friendly. But yeah, moving on to the next question real quick. It's from Andwell, who's an L14 in Blackout. Will you ever give more perks for being L13 plus? Maybe. That's the thing regarding like L13 plus. We give events access to L13. L14s get the perks of L14 is you can apply for an NCO position or an OIT position anytime you want. By apply I mean not instantly be accepted. By apply I mean you can fill the applications and pretty much cut the line. That's pretty much the perks of being L14. And the perk of being L15 is literally getting a skull scarf, which is in the game right now. So like, yeah, it's not really perks. It's not really like really great perks. At least L13 and L14 have like good enough perks, but like L15 itself doesn't really have like a perk which you can flex about really. So yeah, I don't know if I will revamp the perks anytime soon, but if people do have some suggestions, I won't allow like literally allowing normal contractor to host events on their own. But yeah, certain special things that can be allowed, sure. But as of right now, I don't have anything in idea that I can implement for those perks right now. So yeah. Alright, last two questions. I'll just. Oh god. Question from Frostbite, who is also known as Lieutenant 7274, who's an L13 in Blackout. Are you actually H5? Yes, I am actually H5. Moving to the next question. Uh, it's from Aaron Halder. Oh god, I can't even say this dude right now. I'll just post this question in general chat. Oh god. I legit expected the last two questions to be something sensible, but this is literally it. Alright. Alright, that's pretty much it. Answering the pings I got recently, real quick. Bobza, uh, when do I become senior mod? It's been like 9 months. Never, Bobza. Anyways, moving on. Gaming estate. What is the development with the new Blackout game? It was regularly updated, but now it's dead. Gaming, ACS isn't really a priority right here. Uh, ACS has been a thing which was implemented like ages ago. Like I think it was implemented around the end of 2022, and during that time NAR didn't update the game at all for like a year, and that was the only reason Blackout even moved towards ACS and having their own game. Like even before NAR didn't update their game, Blackout did have few games which had ACS elements, but like they weren't like actually worked on or like even implemented. Like you can literally go into the group games right now, like the Roblox group, and see the games, and you will see a lot of random games in there. So yeah, as of right now, Blackout's main focus isn't ACS at any capacity, but we will be implementing some parts of ACS as soon as we fix things regarding BRM5 first. So yeah, like even right now, some of the special upgrades aren't getting hosted, aren't even being hosted because either officers don't know it or they're just in general not being hosted. So yeah, I'll first focus on fixing current issues of Blackout rather than implementing new ideas which will take time and effort. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think there's any other things which specifically ask questions. There's one from Joint Division. There's one from BSc Hicom apparently. I guess it's some announcement they made. Niners. I didn't have Zelot to like eat it with me. I was actually talking to him like him becoming head of foreign affairs. Alright. Uh, keep doubting, Niners. Neon will make the what do you mean will make the faction? What do you mean that's by that smile? Will make the faction into a non-democratic faction. Neon, certain things do need to be non-democratic, but not all things. So majority of the things will have democratic procedure, but yeah. King Monkey, the Barbie movie is actually great. It wasn't like the best thing in this year, but like in terms of like playing playing on the stereotypes on Barbie, it really does a good job. Did I watch Oppenheimer? Yes, I did. By the way, Bobs, just so you know, the Indian censor board removed the funny scenes, which was quote unquote added to the Oppenheimer. So I didn't really get to experience that on IMAX theaters, but yeah, I did get to experience the bomb exploding. So yeah, if you know, you know. Another thing, I already stole the role from Frag Boy in PL5 of having the role of official like verified leader, faction leader. So if you open up my profile in PL5 right now, you'll see that I am apparently a verified faction leader. Ninus, I can already see you typing in PL5 general. Please don't. Oh god. Stop pinging me, dude. The PL5 moderators are going to going to alright. Uh, alright. I'll just kinda. I don't think there's anything else to I don't think there's anything else I need to specifically answer. So yeah. All right. For the audience who have been here since the start of this podcast, thank you for attending. Just a quick disclaimer: podcast will be hosted every 2 weeks. So this week I'm officially restarting the podcast itself, but the next one will be on 20th of August. So yeah, I will be constantly using podcast as a way to keep the contractor updated regarding stuff and how situation is improving and the current situation of blackout, so on and so forth. But yeah, this was pretty much it for me. If anyone has any queries which they want to ask anytime later, they can always ask it in my DMs or so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the 5-minute delay was removed in general, Kingpin. Niners know
Yep.
we won't get any you know Sammy, will I make all divisions love each other? Sammy, that's more of a that's more of a question for the divisions than me. I will bring them in the same room itself, but I cannot guarantee that all divisions will love each other the same way I love them. So yeah. uh, oh god. Stop mentioning me in PL5, dude. The PL5 moderators are astronomers just ping some random crunchy nobody no nobody. Alright. 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 Let's not give PL5 a reason to, unverify us. Otherwise, yeah. Maybe Niners. But the thing is, if you have events access, the L15 role will not. The L15 role already has like a different color from like normal contracted roles. So like your events access restricts it. So yeah. Alright, I need to conclude the podcast right now, but yeah. For the live audience who attended, thank you for attending. I'll conclude this podcast right now. See you, boys.